All right, I'm making my way down to the beach here for the morning briefing. The sand replenishment continues here in Surfside, California. The birds are happy because in all of that sand, which is being pumped ashore from offshore, are clams and mussels and sand crabs and all kinds of little morsels for these birds to feed on. All right, let's head on down the beach and get this morning briefing going. Good morning, my friends. Great to be with you.
Look at this guy. Ah, yes, that's a 40, 100%. Biggest halibut I've ever caught from a kayak. Damn, that's a big fish. Brown on one side, white on the other. California halibut. And that's a toad. That's got to be 25, pushing.
Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. I'm not going to get my beautiful sunrise, however, because it's really overcast. It has a feel like it might rain a little bit, but I don't think so. In fact, I don't think this weekend's going to be much of a rain event. Looks like here in Southern California, we're going to get most of our rain on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and there's very little wind associated with this, at least for the weekend, and that is the major concern. Wind, that's what makes for hazardous seas. Whoa! How did you like that flatty, that big halibut in the kayak? Man, those guys are awesome. Die Hard Fishing. Die Hard Fishing on YouTube. You can see that entire video and a lot more stuff that those guys are doing. They do a lot of kayaking and surf fishing, the kind of stuff that doesn't cost you an arm and a leg to do, and it's a lot of fun, and it can be a real adventure. Die Hard Fishing. Make sure you check them out. I was very impressed by that catch in a kayak. We've got a lot to talk to you about. You know, it's a little chilly here in SoCal, but the fishing is pretty darn hot. Now, south of the border, of course, we've got marlin down in Cabo. We've got good long-range fishing. We're going to catch some bass this weekend out of San Diego. And, of course, here we're fishing for halibut and so much more. And also, in addition to all of that, the surf fishing has been pretty good. See all that sandy look to the water out there? It's because they're pumping all of that sand up here on the beach. Fascinating process here in Surfside, California. And last night, the Danny Cadota show was absolutely fantastic. TJ from the El Dorado, along with Will from Long Beach Sportfishing, graced our podcast studio, and they put on a great show. I know you are going to love those guys. Make sure you check them out. Bart Hall continuing again here today in San Diego. I'm going to try to hook up with our friend Sam De La Torre from Island Fishing Tackle a little bit later this morning for a live preview of what's to come here today and for the rest of the weekend. Del Mar Fairgrounds down there in San Diego. I'll be walking around on Saturday, and if you recognize me, say hi. I'll ask you a question. If you get the question right, you get a prize from one of our great sponsors, Blacktail Hooks, and of course Anglers Pliers, and Opsin Fluorocarbon, just to name a few of the prizes you might get. Hey, you know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh, so good. What a way to wake up. It's beautiful. Spending time with you, a cup of coffee. How can it get any better than that? Don't forget, please hit that like button. We appreciate all the new subscribers. Of course, if you tick the bell, you'll be notified when there's new content. Also, if you share these videos, it is deeply, deeply appreciated. And subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. You can also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. It is great to be back with you all. Great show last night, the Danny Cadota show. Make sure you check it out. You're going to learn a lot from the guys from El Dorado Sport Fishing. You'll learn a lot more about the El Dorado and what her plans are for 2024. But you'll also get some excellent tackle tips and so much more. And stay tuned here today. Hopefully we'll be able to get Sam De La Torre lined up and have a little chat with him before the doors open at 12 noon down there in San Diego at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. All right, let me take you down south of the border. Start you out in Cabo San Lucas, where our friend Sean Morgan from the Wild and Sack, he operates out of San Jose del Cabo. Beautiful yacht, by the way. He continues to say that the marlin bite down there is outstanding. The only thing that'll get in the way is the wind, and there's been some periodic windy days down there. So you do have to be a little bit careful about that. During this time of the year, it's a good idea to budget a couple of extra days, and into the spring when it's quite breezy also. So if you get a breezy day, you can go do something else on the beach and then perhaps fish the subsequent day when the wind is out of the picture. Good striped marlin fishing close to home, few miles off the beach, double digits on the marlin on some days is not out of the question. A little bit further offshore, you run into the yellowfin tuna. A lot of that, I want to say 20 to 40 pound fish, but some over 100 pounds also. San Quintin area, which is only 140 miles down below the border. It's a lovely drive. I've made it numerous times, and I love San Quintin, a magical place to fish. And the yellowtail fishing down in that neck of the woods has been quite good here recently. We continue to see good yellowtail action, a lot of it on the yo-yo iron, but there's a fish breezing now. Bird schools, you know, birds get on these schools of fish, actually on the bait that the game fish force to the surface, and then those yellows have been crashing on that bait, and you roll up on one of those and throw an iron, and you are likely to hang a nice big grade yellowtail, because a lot of that fish, there's some 15 to 20 pound stuff, but there's fish up to the high 20s, even 30 pound mark, breezing around that area. And they have moved up to the Santo Tomas area, which just is a little ways below Ensenada. We know that because Louis Prieto from It's For Reels, number 4, It's For Reels, sport fishing out of Ensenada. He also has the Tequilas bar in Ensenada. You can go fishing with Ernie on It's For Reels and then go to his bar afterwards and he'll cook your catch up for you. But he got into the Forkies the other day. Nice big bird schools of yellows off Santo Tomas and around Santo Tomas Reef, and that was looking really, really good. Up there in Ensenada and surrounding areas, we continue to see, if you want to focus on bottom fish, some excellent bottom fishing, plethora of different rockfish down there. There's those big bonitas still around. We've got the yellowtail. If you want to focus on calico bass, you can also do that. And once again, blackfin sport fishing has been doing a number on the fish down there in that area. Don't forget, if you have heating or air conditioning needs, it's our friend John Lopez from Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. John's a great guy, a great family man, and he really knows his heating and air conditioning. If you need help with that, make sure you give John a call. He'll take good care of you. All right, let's talk up here in Southern California and talk about what's going on down in the San Diego area. We continue to see really good bass fishing when the guys get out and focus on it, and hopefully they'll do that this weekend. I'm praying that everybody doesn't get scared away by the threat of rain, because I really don't think it's going to be that big a deal. And as I mentioned previously, the wind is not going to be a factor. It's going to be nice weather. Now you have the Mission Belle trying to go out of Point Loma sport fishing, the Premier out of H&M Landing, the Dolphin out of Fisherman's Landing. And those guys on their most recent trips have been coming up with, I want to say 50 to 70, pushing 80 sand bass in the wintertime. That's pretty darn good fishing structure bass. Some of those guys have even caught fish in the sand. So when you're fishing the fin bait, that is to say a sardine, you want to drop that fluorocarbon down to 15, 20 pound like that. If you're fishing structure, you want to fish as heavy a fluorocarbon as is possible to get a bite. You're walking that tightrope. Remember, you got to get a bite to catch a fish. And sometimes you have to drop your tackle down in order to get that bite. But you are fishing around structure in many cases in the wintertime, and that's when you want to fish as heavy as is possible. So you want to fish 25 to 40 pound. A lead-headed squid has also been a superior way to get a bite. Now we talk San Diego, but up here in the LA Orange County area, you have several boats also fishing that stuff. Down there out of Dana War Sport Fishing, yesterday they had really good sculpin fishing on some of the boats there. The Western Pride out of Davies Locker, just a tick under limits of sculpin, so they had really good fishing. Our friend Nick Ramirez was up on the Spitfire out of Marina Del Rey Sport Fishing, and Nick doing his thing and having a great time catching sand bass and sculpin and having some really great fishing. That looked like fun. He had an invitation to go on Jimmy's Charters, so he jumped on board and had another great day. Of course, Nick always has a great day when he goes fishing, catch or not catch, because he's got the right attitude. A day on the water, you simply can't beat the therapy it provides your soul with. So great day up there, and we've seen a lot of that going on. So we do have this local bass fishing going on. Now we also have the halibut, and a lot of guys have focused their attention on the halibut. The native sun, I saw some guys coming off the boat right before we went live with our podcast. I yelled out, well, they yelled in and said, hey, what's going on, man? Love your podcast. And that means so much to me. Thank you so much. I wish I would have taken a photo with you, by the way. I know you're watching this morning. Thank you for doing that. And I said, hey, how was fishing? He says, pretty darn good. You know, we had 12 halibut or so. I think 6 legals. Said the one fish was like in the mid-20s in his estimation. So there is some good halibut fishing continuing here, and they're at it again today. 3-way swivel, you know, like a 4 to 6 ounce torpedo sinker in most cases has been the way to go. You want that number 4 to number 6 size treble hook. All of that has been working really well. And of course, choosing a good hot bait when you're fishing a sardine is really, really important. They like 25-pound fluorocarbon when they're fishing these flatties on board the Native Sun. We've seen some halibut up and down the coast. We see some in San Diego also. Dana Wharf sport fishing down there out of Newport Beach up there in the Santa Monica Bay. A few up in that neck of the woods also. And as you saw, you know, there's fish from up there in Central California, kayak fishing, to right here. We've seen some really nice halibut taken by surf fishermen and by kayakers. It's been pretty darn good. So some good local bass. You've got to love every bit of that. Hey, by the way, the Victory out of Long Beach Sport Fishing is going to have a sheephead derby from March 1st till March 31st. Not bad. We'll see how that all works out. That sounds like a great idea. I like these little derbies focusing on individual species, halibut, sheephead. It should be great. So you can see the details there and follow up at Long Beach Sport Fishing if you want some more information. Monte Carlo with a bunch of blacksmith perch yesterday, a few bass and sculpin to go along with it, and gorgeous, gorgeous weather. Beautiful time to be out on the water. Our winter has been, in between our storms, pretty darn nice. You can't beat that. Also, I've got to mention to you that there has been some good surf fishing going on up and down our Southern California beaches and also down in Baja, California. We've seen great barred perch fishing. It has been really, really good. The barred perch have been biting south of the border for the guys in Mexico Lindo really, really well, down there around San Quintin and up there at Punta Calanet and Santo Tomas and Ensenada and Rosarito and Playas, Tijuana for that matter. You've seen some really good fishing up in this area. However, San Diego all the way up to Ventura and above there, we've seen a lot of great barred perch fishing going on. You can fish bait, or you can fish, you know, the little grubs work really well. Honey badger baits, several other baits work really, really well. And the bigger barred perch, the aggressive ones, they'll bite a lucky craft really, really well. So you keep that in mind when you're throwing a lucky craft. You not only have a chance to pick off a halibut, but you have a very good chance of picking up nice big barred perch. I like throwing those chrome jigs, a little chrome Castmaster, crocodile, something like that. It's also very effective for yellowfin croaker. Catch a lot of halibut that way, and also catch barred perch. Kevin Trio with his first legal halibut in the surf. Congratulations, Kevin. Beautiful 26-inch flatty, and he had to finagle his way around some rocks and 10-pound test he was using. He really had an arduous battle and did a great job getting that fish. Also had a 12-inch barred perch, pretty darn nice barred perch. Tom Troop continues to fish in the harbors, Long Beach Harbor, and catching some really nice spotted bay bass. Those things put up a tussle. They are such a cool fish, and Tom releasing those little devils so they can live to fight another day. Nothing wrong with that. Looking pretty darn good, if you ask me. Oh, shoot, I almost forgot. You know what time it is, right? It's tax season. You want to get that burden off your shoulders. And there's nobody better to help you than Tim Marquez from A Best Income Tax. Tim is a fantastic guy. He will elevate you to number one and treat you the way you want to be treated. A fantastic human being and an expert at handling your back taxes or your current tax situation. Tim Marquez, a best income tax. Give Tim a call today. Good lobster fishing going on also, or I should say hoop netting. It has been fantastic, as you see right here. Dylan Garrison with a nice shot of langostas coming on board. Nice camera work too on that on your ahipromar.com hoop net lobster update. It's been really, really good. And I think we only have like a month to go in the lobster season, so you better get out and make it happen. Limits last night on the Spitfire, great one for them. And today, is it today? Yeah, I think it is, or tomorrow, one of the two. Anyway, the Triton's leaving at 12 noon, either today or tomorrow, and they're headed out to catch you some whitefish and rockfish, and then head to Catalina Island, where undoubtedly they'll have another great day, or night, I should say, on the lobster. 54 lobster on their last trip. Incidentally, the Pride, you know how hot the Pride is, out of 22nd Street Landing in beautiful San Pedro, California. I mean, those guys fish so hard, and they are out on a trip leaving tonight. Yes, indeed. The Pride is going tonight out of 22nd Street Landing. They are a definite go. They had only 5 anglers last time I checked. An opportunity to get on board with a light load and probably catch a bunch of halibut and maybe some white sea bass, given the track record of the boys on the Pride. Pride tonight, 22nd Street Landing, 5 anglers the last time I checked. Check with 22nd Street Landing, 310-832-8304. And down there at 22nd Street, you'll see the Independence, beautiful long-range boat who operates out of Point Loma Sportfishing in San Diego. Just walk by and see how massive and beautiful that vessel is. And don't forget, April the 4th through April the 9th, we've got our 5-day trip, and that's got, I mean, with these yellows crawling all over the place, that's got great yellowtail action written all over it. Add some bluefin. I mean, the Polaris Supreme is going to start 3-day bluefin tuna trips in March, so hopefully they'll run them down. By April, that thing should be biting. That should be a phenomenal 5-day trip. Give the Independence office a call today. Or if you're going to the Bar Hall show, say hi to Paulina. That would be really huge. And you can get more information on that trip and so many more. Hey, when you're going through the gate at the Bart Hall show, Bart is normally sitting there to thank you. Look at him and mention that you saw a lot of coverage on Friedman Adventures. That would mean a lot to me and a lot to Bart. Make sure you mention Friedman Adventures to Bart as you go in the gate. He'll love it. I'll love it. It would be deeply appreciated. Long range fishing. We are starting to see more and more of that bigger grade yellowfin tuna. It's been a little bit off the bite in terms of the numbers, but we're seeing some really nice big fish. XL with a couple of cows here recently. Those are fish over 200 pounds. Royal Polaris is starting to fish, I believe, this morning way south. I'm not exactly sure where they are, but they are way south, I believe, of the fleet on a 22-day trip, a really long one. The rest of the boys, most of them are on 16-day trips. We're keeping our eyes on that. They've had some decent wahoo fishing, some pretty good yellowfin tuna fishing, and again, the boats out of San Diego that head down there on these trips are, well, just look at the Independence. They are opulent. It's like being on a cruise ship, and I'll tell you right now, you will get treated like you've never been treated before. Customer service on all those rigs is absolutely fantastic. All right, my friends, it is always great spending time with you this lovely Friday morning. Don't let this rain talk scare you away this weekend. I don't see much rain at all. We're going to get that on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It looks like we'll continue to watch it all for you very closely. I'll see you Saturday at the Bar Hall show. If you see me, make sure you pull me aside so I can ask you a question. We're only going to have like 20 prizes, so make sure you grab me early so we can see if you can win one of those prizes. I'll have it in my backpack or some other way. I haven't figured that one out quite yet. All right, and make sure you say hi to Bart for Friedman Adventures. We would really appreciate that. Sam De La Torre's down there. Hopefully he'll be live with me here in just a few more moments. Whale watching season continues here in Southern California. We're starting to see some northbound whales already, but southbound whales still blowing by here on their journey from the Bering Sea in Alaska down to the warm water lagoons of Baja, California. A really fascinating journey for sure. All right, and don't forget, up there at Ventura Harbor Sportfishing, they are taking reservations for charters on board the Endeavor. You definitely want to check that out. The Endeavor with Tucker McCombs. It doesn't get any better than that. 805-676-3474. All right, a little bit chilly, but not too bad. When you have this cloud cover, it actually kind of holds the heat in. It's when it's completely clear when you're really freezing your little toes off. So not too bad here this morning. Beautiful morning. I see some birds working offshore. Sand replenishment continuing. And as always, it's my deep pleasure and great honor to spend some time with you here this morning. I'll see you at the Bart Hall show. If I don't see you there, I hope to see you really, really soon. Take care, my friends.